All right, guys, guess what? I'm that 90s kid. We're back here again. Today we're going to be reacting to the only, the best, the GOAT, Ren. And this time we're going to be reacting to Money Game Part 1 and 2. So you get a twofer video. Without further ado, I'd like to jump right into the video. But first, if you could do me a favor, go down, hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell icon at the top. That way you're notified when I drop new content. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, you can do that by going down and hitting the super thanks button down at the bottom, or any one of the little links throughout the video that say click here to donate, and that'll take you over to my PayPal. You can donate to the channel that way. That would be fantastic. Now, I've also got some merch coming out here pretty soon, so if you're interested, let me know down in the comments and I will kind of put you on a list. All right, with that, let's get after it. This is Ren, Money Game Part 1.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strive, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns.
That is 100% facts. Greed is the source of all evil, and right now it's a culture shock for people to understand what's really going on with the corruption in government. 1% having all of the money and power. We as citizens are basically just avatars when it comes to our own freedoms. I mean, they play games of let's chip away at our Constitution, let's chip away at our Bill of Rights, just so they can continue to have power. And a lot of times people don't understand that. They're just stuck in their mind that yes, this is the right thing to do. Yes, gun control is the right thing to do. Gun control is a waste of time, an absolute waste of time and energy and our money. Gun control doesn't work. It doesn't, because you could take away all of the guns from God-fearing individuals, tax-paying individuals, blue-collar, white-collar workers, and all you're doing is arming the bad guys. Because you think honestly that the bad guys don't know that people are unarmed and are now vulnerable? If you honestly think that, then you've got something wrong. And again, it goes right back to greed. What are the bad guys wanting? They're wanting riches. They're wanting everything that you have worked your entire life for. They want to bring you down. The only way to do anything to protect yourself is to own guns. Guns are the deterrent for people breaking into your house. Like, most of these guys that break into your house don't have any regard for your family. They would kill your whole family without even hesitating, just to get away with all of your shit. Let's get back at it.
Makes greed a game that lets this whole war burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way.
That was gorgeous. I gotta hear that again. Oh, rain, 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 rain. That's awesome. And it's true, though. We do have a storm coming our way, and we need to be prepared for it. Absolutely need to be prepared for it. I'm willing to take up arms to protect my constitutional rights, protect my Bill of Rights. Are you? Leave comments down below.
Oh, rain, 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 a storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Stop.
This visual is amazing because that's how we all feel, right? Completely blinded and played like a marionette by the government. So exactly what he's doing here is a beautiful visual on how everybody feels right now.
This old money game. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech.
Facts. Absolutely facts. We need to protect our freedom of speech because here's the deal. Freedom of speech in the US is our First Amendment rights. They made the First Amendment rights the first because it's the most important. Number two, the Second Amendment rights was made to protect the First Amendment rights. That's why it's so high up on the list. We cannot let the governments dictate to us what weapons we can own, when we can own them, go through all of this red tape in order to get them, and then on top of that tell us that we're extremists because we do own guns. Like, are you kidding me? You're calling us terrorists, us extremists, because we have the right to protect ourselves? You're the one that's sitting there with armed guard all the time. If you're so keen on everybody being safe, you should get rid of your armed guard. Until that day comes where government officials start taking away their security, I'm not taking away mine. And guess what? That day will never come.
Keep us separate when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth. That's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony.
Agreed, 100%. We're all immigrants. All of us. Unless you're indigenous, Native American, we're all immigrants. The only problem I have with immigration right now is the fact that our border, our southern border, is wide open. Absolutely wide open. Now I'm talking about the US. We've got millions of illegal immigrants flowing over our borders daily. And what are they doing about it? Absolutely nothing. They're leaving it to the people that live on that borderline to keep people out. And how are they doing that? With guns. They're telling them to go back where they came from. Go through it the right way. Go through the right channels. And they're not going to do that because a lot of them are drug mules or sex traffickers or gang members or terrorists from other countries. Now, that being said, I understand that there is a good portion of them that are just trying to seek asylum in the U.S. I get that. 100% completely understand that. Those people are the ones that need to go about it the right way. If you want to be a naturalized American, I'm totally for that. We can take all the people that we can. I mean, the only way that we build our melting pot is with immigration. I mean, we understood that back in the 20s and 30s when everybody was coming across from Ellis Island. Or through Ellis Island. Like, we got it. We understood. Yes, there was division. Being Irish Catholic, the first slaves to be taken from their country and brought to the Americas were Irish Catholics. There was 100 Irish Catholic children taken from their homes and brought to the United States to be slaves. This was decades before the first African Americans were brought to the United States as slaves. I mean, I get it. And he's 100% right. If you're seeking asylum in the US just because you're trying to get away from tyranny in your own country, go about it the right way. Go through the process in becoming a naturalized citizen. I don't think that any of us should be paying welfare for illegal immigrants. Like, we can hardly afford our own lives, let alone trying to provide for millions of illegal immigrants. Like, how much more debt are we going to accrue over the next 10 years if our borders are wide open and we're paying for their welfare, their health care, their dental, their everything, housing? I mean, we're paying for everything. And now they're talking about giving them like a $450,000 check, each one of them, just to help them get their feet under them. Are you kidding me? Do you know that the American citizens are struggling right now? Every American citizen is struggling right now, minus the 1%. Do you don't think we couldn't use $450,000? But no, we can't have that because we're already taxpayers. And the only reason that they're talking about giving them all of this money and protecting them and housing them is because they want them to vote a certain way. I mean, it's not a new concept. They did it in the 60s when they brought all of these Irish workers over from Ireland and then told them that they would give them housing, food, all of this stuff. Now, that was after they became naturalized citizens. But in return, they had to vote a certain way. So, like I said, it's not a new concept. It's just we're using an old playbook.
Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise, who distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game.
Damn, that was a visual, guys. I wonder if he got that idea from the monks that set themselves on fire during Vietnam. I would assume so, because they set themselves on fire to send a message. And the greatest message that you can send is that through the fire, peace will prevail. And even though that those monks were on fire, they never screamed, they never said a peep. They just burned alive. It was an amazing sight. Horrific, but amazing. All right, now let's jump into number 2. Now, before we get into number 2, I'd like to once again say, if you enjoy this video, go ahead, go down, hit the like, subscribe, the little bell icon at the top. That would be fantastic. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. You can do that by clicking any one of the little links throughout the video. It'll take you over to my PayPal, and you can donate directly that way. If you donate through Super Thanks, I only get a small portion of it, whereas if you donate through PayPal, I see the full amount. Let's get into this. This is Ren Money Game Part 2. Let's go.
Money is a game, and the ladder we climb will turn a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme. She sells seashells on the seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step 1, you must create a sense of scarcity. These shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island, stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step 2, you gotta make the people think that they want them. Really want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson with influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a shell, you're just a fucking waste man. Free, it's monopoly. Invest inside some property. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell. That will be your new philosophy.
That's true. That's 100% true. Lately, these days, people are pushing more and more towards monopolies. Look at Meta or Facebook. Like, after the whole scandal with Facebook censoring all of the people that were not voting for a certain somebody, they got caught, and immediately they decided to change their name in order to rebrand as something that later users aren't going to associate with the scandal, right? Companies have been doing it for years. Monopolies were outlawed back in the 1920s, I believe, because basically of Standard Oil, the Vanderbilts, and Carnegie, okay? Standard Oil was run by John D. Rockefeller. He was told he could not own a monopoly on the oil industry because at the time he was the name in oil. So they took all of Standard Oil and split it up into branches. Exxon Mobil, Shell, all of these companies were originally Standard Oil. Now, that being said, John D. Rockefeller and his family, they gained stakes in each one of those 8 different companies, I believe. I believe it was 8. Maybe it was 6. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but each one of those companies he owned a majority stake in, which means that it didn't matter which one of the companies that people used, he was still making money off of it, to the point where he was making more money off of having it diversified out and into different fronts than he ever was with Standard Oil by itself. So it's a money game, guys, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Let's get back at it.
Go do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be your new philosophy. Swallow all your morals, they're a poor man's quality. 4. Expand, expand, expand. Clear forests, make land, fresh blood on hand. 5. Why just shells? Why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6. Guns, sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rocks, sell water to a fish, sell the time to a clock. 7. Press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes, then run to be the president of the United States. 8. Big smile, mate, big...
Guys, I had to laugh the other day because I was walking into Walgreens and they had literally compressed air in a can that was 100% oxygen, and they were using it to sell as kind of like a stimulant for breathing, right? So they're taking canned air and selling it to people. Canned air and selling it to people when you could just go outside. Like, I could not believe that we're at this point in our society that people are canning air and selling it to people, selling it to dumb people. It's insane to me. Let's get back at it.
Then run to be the president of the United States. 8. Big smile, mate, big wave, that's great. The truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9. Polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10. The world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, a cheat, a devil, a whore. And you sell seashells on the seashore. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm, it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies are poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame.
This dude is amazing. I hope you guys understand how difficult it is to hit notes with no prior setup, no tuner, no nothing. Like, he just picks it right up, right at the perfect note to sing the song. Like, or the chorus. It's just insane to me how talented Ren is. I just needed to say that.
It's easier to blame. Point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. Woo, 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 woo. This old money game.
Insane. Absolutely insane. I loved this. This brings to light a lot of the controversy that's going on in America, a lot of the controversy that's going on worldwide. Like, it is just so relatable for so many people around the world. I mean, especially in America, and I can only speak for America because that's where I live. I think that if we all could put our differences aside, come together, have an actual conversation, we can come to some agreements, and then we could really focus on what is really going on, and that's corruption at the highest level of government. Our president is probably one of the most corrupt presidents since Nixon, and he is hands down one of the worst presidents of all time. There's no doubt in my mind. The man can do nothing right. Ever. Whether it be from a botched evacuation, open borders, taking bribes, covering for his son, utilizing the DOJ as his own version of the Waffen SS. It's unbelievable what's going on in America right now. If you live in another country and you don't know what's going on in America, you should do a little bit of research, because they're going after former president because they're scared to death that he may run in 2024. So they're getting him with basically a clerical error, right? And trying to put him in jail for 400 years. A clerical error, 400 years. Whereas our president, they found cocaine in the White House. They found that his son, there's video of him smoking crack when he, as the president, was the one that was cracking down on drug usage in the 90s. He put a law in place that put thousands upon thousands upon thousands of minorities and people that just needed help in jail for small amounts of narcotic. And this is the guy that's trying to destroy the country. He's the one that's so divisive that he's got our entire country looking at one another as if we're about to jump into another civil war. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to fight my neighbors. I don't think it's warranted. I think we as the people need to come together, unify, and take this shit back to the government. And tell them straight up, we're not going to stand for this. You need to step down. We will appoint other people to do your job. People that think like we do. We just want to get back to the state we were in where everybody got along. Anyway, I mean, long story short, let's just all take a second, take a breath, come together, talk about our problems, get it all out on the table, come to an agreement, and then move forward. There's no reason to be hating on another person because of their opinions. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Why are we focusing so heavily on divisive opinions? Like, I don't have any issues with any community. What I have an issue with is some communities forcing their ideals on my children and forcing their ideals on myself, my wife, my family, because they think that we're wrong. Well, I mean, we might be wrong, but that's our opinion. You might be wrong. That's your opinion. Stand by your opinion. That's the honorable way. But if you're wrong, at least admit you're wrong and say, oops, yep, I made a mistake. Just own it. Own up to it. That's what makes you a good person. You made a mistake. You owned up to it. You said, hey, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make you mad. Didn't mean to make you cry. Didn't mean to make you hate me for 4 years when we all could have just got together, sang fucking Kumbaya and taken this shit right back to the government. That's my opinion. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys had a good time and enjoyed the video. If you could do me a favor, go down, hit the like, the subscribe, the little bell icon at the top. That would be fantastic. Please, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do that by hitting the super thanks button at the bottom or clicking any one of the little links throughout the video that say click here to donate. Those will take you over to my PayPal and you can donate to me directly that way. I appreciate you. I love you.